because that not enoughness came from somewhere. So somewhere they need to do that healing process.
Peak performance it doesn't mean you're at the top of your game all the time.
Mattering is a basic human need, and we all need to feel seen and heard. Welcome to Burnout Business and Body, the podcast for people who want to thrive in their health, leadership, relationships, and performance. Please follow our podcast, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it, or connect with us about our coaching and workplace programs.
Hi, I'm Nicole, your burnout coach, here to help you slow down, reconnect, and rediscover the peace that lives beneath the pressure.
I'm Belinda Smith, your business leadership and team coach, helping leaders build stronger teams, better communication, and businesses that support both people and profit.
And I'm Sabina Zalovsky, your peak performance coach, helping you to optimize your performance from the inside out.
Amazing. Burnout, business and body aren't separate. When one suffers, they all suffer. And so we're here to help you improve all. Hi,
Hello.
girls.
Hello. How are we today?
Super. Now that I can see you too.
I'm a bit sick,
How you doing?
but that's okay.
So
It's all
good.
self-induced. So,
Oh, did you have fun?
I had so much fun. Had so
Excellent.
much fun. And I think it's when you get to our age, you know about the
Late 40s?
consequences. I was thinking late 30s, but you know the consequences. And performance is about, or peak performance is. It doesn't mean you're at the top of your game all the time. It just means you know the tools like that to get to the top of the game. And sometimes you don't need to. You just need to have fun. So I know how to get back on track. But yeah, it was very fun. It was very worth it. How are you girls?
Excellent.
Love it.
I'm good.
Amazing. Well, we haven't been jet setting this week, but you have, which is nice. I have seen your
So much
lovely
fun.
pictures
Yeah.
and they
So
are
much fun.
amazing.
Yeah. So what are we talking about today? This is your topic. This is your...
Today's topic is everyone needs to matter. And I wanted to talk about something that sits underneath the motivation, underneath the engagement and the performance and the well-being. And it's mattering.
Mm-hmm.
I did a workshop on this week with a terrific author, and I had some great insights. And I would like to share some of those things today. And open the subject. It reminded me that we need to talk about. It's almost impossible for life or work to feel meaningful if we first don't believe that we matter.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
I could not agree more. Yeah, this is exciting. Okay, well, all right. So let's go down. What does it actually mean to matter? Like, just be specific. Get to the for the nitty gritty. What would you, or in your what's your definition of mattering? Because I'm sure it's very different for everybody, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, to matter is, I feel that it is to be seen and heard and valued, and to feel significant. I feel like mattering is a basic human need, and we all need to feel seen and heard. Nobody wants to feel invisible. And here's a question I ask in my workshops. I'll ask this. Put your hand up if you would like to feel insignificant.
Ooh.
And I do that. And no one joins me.
Wow.
Because mattering isn't a luxury. It's a human need. It's very important. But it's not occasionally. It's
permanently.
consistently. Yeah.
I've
Really,
never heard it
what
put
do you-
like that, but when we always think about the positives, but we never think about the negatives, and having that really gives you a different insight, a different perspective it's very powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, Belinda, tell me what happens when people don't feel that they matter.
Or in the workplace, or probably not even just in the workplace, but when people don't feel they matter, they withdraw. They're probably, quiet. Have you heard of quiet quitting?
Yeah, it's yes.
It's a term coined out there when people have just sort of given up, so they just do their hours and get paid and off they go. Isolation, silence. They could be withholding ideas, certainly retention, leaving the workplace.
Yeah.
Acting out, they could be complaining, blaming, gossiping, and showing negative behaviour. And so the challenge is many leaders treat these as behavioural problems, and sometimes they could actually be mattering problems because many behaviours leaders try to manage, or that they're trying to manage, are actually about people mattering. They're not feeling significant or heard or seen in the workplace. And so you can see a multitude of behaviours. And I would love people to be curious at this point.
I think that's so important. The fact that, you're right, is like, I was just trying to look up what the statistics are on quietly quitting, and it's high. I know in Australia. And yeah, just mattering. It's something as simple as that. When you're seen, when you're heard, when your voice is, matters, it just makes such a difference.
Gives you a lot of
And-
empowerment, doesn't it? Like you feel of value. And if you do not, even when you're having the emotional issues or in relationship as well, or sometimes even with your kids, they come home and you can feel that they're not doing okay or had a bad day, and just acknowledging and sitting down with them. And it's not necessarily about fixing everything for people, but just even that acknowledgement that I see you, I'm here for you if you want to talk, and you're important to me. And so when you're speaking with people, and if you can't get to them immediately, it's never nicer. When you're at a restaurant, the waiter's really busy, you want to grab their eye, but they acknowledge you and they say, I've seen you, then that everything's okay. But when you're trying to get that attention, the aggression and in some people, not everyone, but, that disruption will happen inside, and people will get either aggressive or really shitty. And then when the waiter does come over, they end up speaking to them very rudely. And so it is just being that mindful of, I see you, I hear you, and I want to be there for you. And I can either do it right now, or I can make another time that's appropriate for both of us. So it's important. It's a very important.
And you're right, Nicole, you can delay it. You certainly can delay the conversation. For one, that you need to be with that person.
Yes.
So, for example, let's say customer service. You can have a customer absolutely going off their tree. Something's going on for them. If they're talking about a broken pen and they're yelling and screaming, it's not about the pen.
No.
Something else going on. And to be seen and acknowledged at that point is, for us as human beings to step up, and we can hang on to that person. Maybe if they're not rude and super aggressive, but being there for somebody is really important. Making sure that they do matter. And that can happen anywhere. We can do that in the
I
supermarket.
think also it's thinking this makes it a little bit more complex, but I don't think it has to be. Is people recognise that they matter by different ways. Some people matter by just having the space or the eye contact, and coming from people that working with some people who are of different races, we've already got our own biases, we think, or not necessarily me, but other people, we think, oh, well, maybe they don't see us, we don't matter because we are a different colour or we speak a different language. So we've already got that programmed. And that means that when we are ignored, be it intentionally or not seen, it sort of doubles. Because even though that person, the person who's not given us that space, maybe just going about their daily thing, for us, it might be like, oh, is it because I'm brown? Is it because I don't speak the language? And so this, coupling that with our own beliefs of ourselves and the fact that we still are not seen. I think even asking the question in the workplace, what does mattering look like to you is really important
Mm.
because it's different for everybody.
Certainly to
And
certainly to leaders, that's for
yeah,
sure.
and for leaders to understand how they, we understand in leadership that different people have different communication styles and they want to be communicated differently. It's the same with how they want to be seen. What
Mm.
makes them feel significant?
Mm.
What kind of questions? And even just as HR asking a few things like, doing a quick survey around how do people like to be seen and heard or acknowledged, then that can give the leader some real currency
Mm.
to have a great conversation with this person and make them feel amazing so that they can be at their peak in terms of performance.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was talking to a client last week about a very similar situation. They have this view that we need to check in with every employee every day. And I said, that's terrific. I like that idea. Though let's do what you said is let's check in how.
Mm.
Let's ask them how they want to be checked in on.
Mm.
Some people are happy with a text. Some people are extroverts and need the conversation. Some people are introverts and the text is like, that's cool. I'm going to need to go back to work.
Mm.
They want to be in isolation. And the difference is if you need the daily check-in, have it the way the employee likes it and maybe have the week-in check-in one-to-one.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember that conversation,
But
and that was a great conversation. And I think is, one of the many features of being a leader and being able to lead is being able to adapt to different styles. And it's not easy being so dynamic, but
Mm.
it's a gift that leaders have. And honing that gift and cultivating it, it's so powerful, and it makes such a massive difference to team dynamics and getting the
Mm.
outcome that you want.
Yeah. And look, I really do believe leadership is taught. There are things you learn along the way, which, how can I say, are innate. They come about. There's some things that are people are naturally gifted, maybe towards people, making them feel comfortable. There are gifts. I do agree. But there are fundamentals that people just may not know. And I'm doing some leadership with one of the general managers of a company, and they're so grateful that they can be aware of things they really didn't think of before.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of these young leaders in their 20s will be dynamo by their 30s because they've got the fundamentals of being able to take care of people in the beginning, have difficult conversations, but make it softly and have meaningful conversations with people, not be avoidant and various other things that go on. But I'm just loving seeing these young leaders grow. And they say it's not actually as hard as I thought because I have some tools.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to have some tools in the toolbox.
And the I'm not enough to matter. The not enoughness is universal. It's a universal belief where most people are literally subconsciously have no idea that that's what they're doing, but it comes up in their actions. And it's a matter of it is if you notice someone dysregulated, there's more to it behind the scenes, so they need more support. And so just holding
Yep.
the space, and if you're not the right person, getting them the right person
Yeah.
or introducing the right person. If it's not the right time, you figure out the right time and you make a point and going, you really matter. I can see things aren't really working here for you in the workplace. Is there something going on at home? And if not, do you want to talk about it? Am I the one that you want to talk to about, or is there somewhere else we can help you with?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
And it is that
Every
person's responsibility then, the everyone's responsibility at the end of the day, to actually heal their maps of behind, because that not enoughness came from somewhere. So somewhere they need to do that healing process so that they can show up actually the best version of themselves.
Mm. you've just reminded me of something, Nicole. Bang on. I was talking to a school principal this morning, and they were talking about wellness and burnout, and it happens a lot in education. It happens a lot in
Mhm.
many places. So let's just talk about education for a moment. And this very intuitive, incredible school principal that I have, recognised over quite a few years said something really profound. They said, it's not my responsibility to ensure the people that work here are okay in their own skin, in their own bodies, in their own well-being.
Mhm.
My responsibility is to make them safe, having a good working environment, but they're responsible for themselves.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow,
Yeah. And we are.
that is so great. And you had just said, the same thing. If we take care of ourselves and then get the workplace to help buffer, helping the environment of the workplace feel safe and to feel, welcome and that I matter and I belong here, then putting those two things together, doing the work on yourself
Mhm.
and ensuring that leaders have the same thing. I mean, workplaces and life and home would be so great.
Well,
And
the
then
world would be so great. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine everyone doing
That's right.
their bit. And people just, I don't think people have the awareness of that it is even something that they're not even consciously aware of, that it could be a program
Yep.
that's running subconsciously, because they haven't traveled down this path of self-development yet. And that is, well, as coaches, that's part of our job to actually help identify your belief systems and where they're coming from and then breaking it. And I tend to, in my role, go a lot deeper and help people really get to the root cause of where things have started from. But can you imagine the loyalty that if that person has actually done the work and walks into a workplace where they are seen and they matter and they're valued and they're appreciated, the loyalty from that employee will be long lasting and you wouldn't have such a turnover.
Well, that's it. If
Um,
if a employer facilitated that life changing work that
Mm.
you do, then yeah, so powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. And it falls into, relationships, whether it's friendships, whether it's marriages, partnerships, whatever it is for you. I'm sure all of us between us have had relationships where we didn't feel we mattered at some point,
Mhm.
and those relationships are no longer, and we had to learn to overcome that to then go into relationships that do actually we feel valued and we do feel like we matter and all the rest of it. Otherwise, we're giving our energy away that to people and to work environments and all the rest of it for no reason. And our energy is too expensive. Like it comes at a high price.
100%.
So it's being very careful of choosing. When you do value yourself, you then go and you find the place that's going to value you.
And I think
And
that's one thing that people, I mean, I definitely tell clients, and maybe our listeners can learn something from it too, or even after this segment or this podcast, go and think about themselves. I think of energy as money. In fact, it's more important than money. And
yes,
if you're thinking that
right.
we are giving energy, like I think about phones, right? You probably give about $100, whatever, 100% of your attention in the morning to your phone or whatever. And you put that in dollars and you try and see about if you gave your dollars away so easily and so unintentionally,
Yeah,
you'd be broke.
you would be. And that's burnout, right?
It is, but it's
You're in a deficit when you're in burnout because you've used all resources and the resources and the resources. And this is it's incredibly
There's an
important.
exercise I'll do
Mm.
next time or sometime, and it's basically about your energy pebbles, or say each energy is worth like $10, and you're given $10 here and $10 here and $10 here. At the end
Yeah.
of the day, you're spent, but if it was dollars, we need it needs to be we need to shift that. It needs to be the way around. Energy is actually probably more important.
It's more important than
Energy,
money.
health is
Mm.
more important.
Mhm.
The dollars we can get back. The energy is pretty hard. Once you've got rid of it, once you've given it away, try and claw it back.
Mhm.
It's not that easy. And
Yeah.
just being really intentional about where you give your energy to and whom. Do they actually deserve it? And having that sort of filtering, having those questions. Do they deserve my time? Do they deserve my energy? Or my dollars, my mental dollars? Do they deserve my
Yeah.
mental dollars?
Mm.
Yeah.
Amazing. I think you could if you put money as a measure to a lot of things, people would be very shocked.
Mm.
If you said to leaders, today, when you get home from work, did you make someone matter today?
Mm.
Oh no. Okay, $100 in the swear jar.
Yeah, money talks.
Let's not joke about it, but
It's true.
that's important, and I will make that challenge
Well,
today.
one question I ask myself, like, so I'm, as you know, massive on morning routines, but I tell clients to ask themselves the same, is in the morning, who do you give your energy away to first? Now, I'm always God's my first port of call, but then after that, it's all about me. But then, and I think it's just putting that, who do you put first? Who do you give your energy first? Who deserves your energy first? Even asking yourself, who, if you're giving it to your inbox, does my inbox deserve this energy? Does
Mm.
my Facebook or Instagram or whatever, or does the dishwasher? No.
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 I'm writing this down. This is an episode. Does my inbox deserve my energy? That's a episode in itself.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think it's I just think, and I find myself even occasionally like those pots, and we're all distracted. You go, there's pots on the side. I'm like, right, I'll just put them away. No. This beast of a voice comes in my head, Sabina. No, you will not put them away. And I'll go back to myself and like do my own bits. But I think just having that awareness, like, nobody deserves your energy unless you actually intentionally give it to them.
Mm.
So don't wishy-washy give it away. Like, don't just let them steal it. Otherwise, they'll take it and they'll not give it back. Sorry,
Yeah.
peace over.
You're on fire. You're on fire. So,
But going back onto the topic of mattering.
Just sidestep for a second there.
So
you matter. That's why I wanted to listen to you.
So
there's some great points today.
aside from all the washing and the dishwasher, and let's get back on track. ADHD, my apologies. How do great leaders make people feel that they matter? What are some really simple things that leaders at home can do to get that, to give that space to make people realise that they matter, Belinda?
Yeah, well, this framework that I'm going to share today is a little acronym called
I love
NAN.
a framework.
And I'm a nan, just so that you know, I'm a
Very,
nan.
very sexy nan.
Oh, thank you, sexy nan. I've got 6 beautiful grandchildren. So the NAN framework, the N part is to be noticed. That's the N. I see you. I see you, baby. Oh, actually, there's a song in there.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, okay. I'll stop now. So noticing. So the N is noticing. I see you. I notice your energy. I notice your effort. I notice your struggles. And I can also notice your wins and
How
your
do you
mood.
show that, Belinda? Like, do you say it? Do you just,
Yeah, in noticing, it's about asking better questions.
Okay.
Yeah, just notice something. I noticed today you're really fired up and you've got some really intriguing insights today, Sabina. So I'm so curious as to what you've been up to in the last, few days, because I can hear that there are wins and excitement in your voice. I'd love you to share it with me. And that's about me noticing you.
It's a great
specifically? Yeah.
example to do it as well, because that's very not it's not something that's obvious. So you're not making people feel uncomfortable. You're making them feel seen, but in a really
Mm.
caring kind of way that it's something that you're interested in. I like that.
Mm.
Yeah. So noticing is important, and it happens in our group very quickly. We jump on, and you ladies will do exactly that straight away.
Yeah.
If somebody's a bit shifted or moved, it's the noticing. So let me share the A in the framework, which is affirmed, meaning I value you. Is this about showing people their strengths and highlighting their contribution and impact? So affirming is a little bit different. It's like I've not just seen it, I value it.
Mm.
I value your insight. And you can give them an example of that. I value that you brought up an amazing topic this morning and your opinion really matters, and this is why it matters. And without your impact or the impact that you made on the business or that conversation is this or it's that. And we highlight that contribution, which is important. The N in the NAN, the second N, is needed. The needed part is you make a difference. We're connecting people to purpose, and we're showing them why their role matters. They're really needed. And sometimes the ego gets in the way where the leader wants to be more validated and they're afraid of their position, or they're having difficulty believing somebody else could be better. A leader really wants their team to be way better than them.
Mm.
And we as parents want our children to be better versions than we ever were. Real leadership is growing and lifting. And I think good leaders tell people they matter, and great leaders show people they matter.
Mm,
There is a
I
difference.
like that.
There is a real difference. And just the last thing I'll say in terms of the NAN, what I'll recap, is when people feel replaceable, they act replaceable, and when they feel irreplaceable, they act irreplaceable.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's a different way of feeling when you're feeling great and you're feeling that your leader sees you and hears you. You don't need to be extrovert, introvert. You just need to know that you matter.
Mm.
My work counts. I belong here.
Yeah.
And if you can be specific around that, it's really impactful.
And I think people that don't necessarily always have the best self-esteem as well is that they think, about being replaceable. But once they hear that affirmation from the outside, then they can take it in internally, and it becomes an internal mantra that they can, boost in so many other levels of their life as well. I love that.
Yeah, and a great way to feel needed is a note that I just made here by saying something like, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have our tech sorted. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have Brady.
Mm.
If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have this idea of our podcast. And knowing that all of us, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have a website. There's so many different things you can bring to the table, and sometimes we think, gee, am I bringing things to the table? Remind
Well,
people.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've had a conversation
If it wasn't for you.
recently, and I think we were talking about this, and it changed everything. And I think when having people matter, it's it's so powerful.
Mm.
Yeah. And in our team, it's important for us. We have to make that connection.
Well, you just there won't be a flow to any work or any connection. And we're hardwired for connection. We're not meant to be doing everything solo. So even the leaders need the higher level above them to be supportive of them and see them and acknowledge them, so that they then go, oh, I'm doing a great job for my team. And the team, it's reciprocal, right? The team need to be acknowledged and seen and validated and heard, but so do team leaders, and then so do the bosses. Wow, this is such an amazing environment to work for. I really love working here, whatever, because everyone's being seen and heard, and their needs are being met. And the only thing that I will say to that is that it is up to each individual person to take care of their fence, and their backyard, and it is the work that needs to be done.
Mm.
And whilst many people may not understand that, that is the next question to maybe ask us what that's all about, because that's the deeper work that is required for you to be the best
Mm.
version of you. Um,
Oh, I agree, Nicole. And when this school principal had this conversation with me this morning,
mm,
I walked away and had a conversation with one of the ladies in the charity work I do with in Vinnie's. She's also an ex-school principal. And we looked at each other and I said, she's done the work. And she went, too right, she's done the work.
Well, it just simply is like, let's align it like this. Happiness is an inside job.
Yeah.
And that's what the work means. It is you releasing you from all the turbulent dysregulation of the past, and the beliefs that you've come up with, and the strategies and the systems that you use in your life to move forward. But maybe that's not the way to go. And so healing that part of you, you then show up in a more positive way, and therefore have more positive beliefs about yourself, and therefore move through life more positive. So that effect ends up affecting everyone around you. And that's why it's so important for people to take responsibility for where they're at on their journey. And again, let's normalize asking for support, asking for the help. If you don't know the right people to go to, put your hand up and ask others, because there will be people who are doing this work without you knowing, and would love to, have someone to, oh, yes, blow, do it, or, Joe over there does it,
And I think as well as for us, if we can be a leader in terms of asking for help,
Mm.
I see it especially in men. I work where, men and women, but men particularly, because they haven't got the same, it's not, they've got a list of different things that they're fighting
Yeah.
against. But when somebody puts their hand up and they make it okay to ask for help, to ask for support, then it just takes somebody else to say that it's okay. You just need to be
Yeah.
a leader, and you can do that. Once somebody asks for help, then other people are going to follow as well, and they're going to get that confidence that if it's okay for you to do it, they can do it too.
Mm.
So be
You're
brave.
giving them permission
Mm.
to also put their hand up and going, it's okay.
Yeah.
And Brené Brown talks about vulnerability-based leadership. It's okay to say, hey, I'm not sure what to do next, but I'm going to find out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
I may not have the answer for you, but I will work on it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we can get through this. Can I have some time to have a think about that? The leader doesn't have to come back with the most profound response. We have to be okay with that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can just have a think about it a little bit more.
Absolutely. Such a great subject, isn't it? Topic, and everyone needs to hear this.
You ladies matter.
You matter.
And you do
Both
too.
of you matter for sure.
So I'm just about to share one thing that leaders can do now to help matter or help people in the moment. They can have the check-in. They can follow up with people. Remembering something important, important names is also quite essential. And you're not going to expect a CEO to know everyone's name, but potentially their leadership team would be good. Leaders can acknowledge by asking better questions and definitely acknowledging people's efforts.
Yeah.
When we go home or at the end of the day, it's like a Friday reflection. I I wrote down here is I want to ask myself, have I done that? Have I done these 3 things? So I'm just going to read them so I can get them right. So who do I need to notice more? Who needs to be shown the difference they make? And who needs to be reminded that they're needed? They're 3 questions leaders can ask to make sure that they're reflecting. And when you think about that, I talked to a client about that, they're like, wow, I can do more. When they heard that, they're like, I can totally do more. I'm not doing that with my team. And it makes them think deeply, going, wow, what would change if that's what I was doing? And I will share this, is that it's not always easy to come and say these things to people, but someone has to go first. And that's leadership. You've got to step forward, make the move, and tell someone something.
Yes.
Notice them, affirm them, and just recognise, understand that they need to be recognised, they need to be needed. I think it's the awareness that a leader will have with their team that will boost performance.
Yeah.
Those good questions. So I'd like for us to add our +1s of the week. So my +1 this week, a +1 is just one extra thing you can do, one little final additional thing we can do, is who is one person you can make feel noticed this week. That's my +1.
Okay, well, I might go on to, well, I think, who is the person that you think needs to be noticed? Maybe who's the person that you're seeing that feels that maybe hasn't been, who looks like that they haven't been noticed, that they need something. Can you go up to them and just ask them if they're okay? And what do they need? And can you support them?
Yeah.
Love it.
And so I'm thinking like a gesture, just a tiny gesture for someone, like the apple for the teacher or something, like, just, or even a gesture in the simple fact of remembering something important about someone and then asking them about it. Because you have these conversations and people then walk away, and then the next time they see him, no one bothers to ask, how did that go? And it may have meant a real lot to this person. So you asking them, how did that situation go? Or did you have a great night? Or whatever the case may be, means that you've actually taken some thought, you've thought about them, and so I think that's a lovely little gesture.
I love it. Make one more person feel that they matter. It is important. Well, burnout, business and body, they aren't separate. They're connected. And when we take care of all 3, we create more energy, better performance, and healthier and fulfilling lives. If something resonated with you today, don't just listen. Take action. Follow the podcast, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Or connect with us about our coaching and workplace programs. The links are in the show notes. This is Burnout, Business and Body. Take care of all 3, always.
Thank you.
See you later,
Bye.
Bye,
everyone.
girls.
Have a great week.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.